What's going on, you guys? I am, as always, Mr. Grimreaper 2, and welcome again, everybody, to our channel. Welcome again, everybody, to my channel, and welcome again to the final day. Welcome to the final episode of Dark Knight Week. We have come on this magnificent journey through the bowels of Gotham City. Now we come to the final film for this week of Batman films, The Dark Knight Rises. Now, this one, the final Batman film in the Nolan universe, was directed once again by Christopher Nolan. The film the film brings back Christian Bale, Michael Caine, Gary Oldman, and Morgan Freeman, and joining the cast this time is Anne Hathaway, Tom Hardy, Marion Cotillard, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And this film is the music done in this film once again is done by the late Hans Zimmer. So, and we're gonna talk about as always, like we always do with our Back in Time reviews. We're gonna talk about the plot and all that, and see what happens. So here we go. In Uzbekistan, Bane, a mysterious terrorist figure and former member of the League of Shadows, abduct nuclear physicist Dr. Leonid Pavel from a CIA aircraft. 8 years after the death of D.A. Harvey Dent, Batman has disappeared and organized crime has been eradicated in Gotham City, thanks to the Dent Act, giving expanded powers to the police. Commissioner James Gordon has kept Dent's murderous rampage a secret and allowed blame for his crimes to fall on Batman. He writes a resignation speech revealing the truth, but decides that the city is not ready to hear it. Bruce Wayne has become a recluse, and Wayne Enterprises is losing money after Wayne discontinued his fusion reactor project when he learned that it could be weaponized. 6 months following Pavel's kidnapping, Bane sets up his base in the city sewers and prompts Wayne's corporate rival John Daggett to buy Wayne's fingerprints. Catburger Selena Kyle obtains Wayne's prints from Wayne Manor for Daggett, but she is double-crossed at the exchange and alerts the police. Gordon and the police arrive and pursue Bane and Daggett's henchmen into the sewers while Selena flees. The men capture Gordon and take him to Bane. Gordon escapes and is found by rookie officer John Blake. Blake, a fellow orphan, confronts Bruce and convinces him to return as Batman. Bane later attacks the Gotham Stock Exchange by using Wayne's fingerprints and a series of transactions that leaves Wayne bankrupt. Batman resurfaces for the first time in 8 years while intercepting Bane and his subordinates. Wayne's butler, Alfred Pennyworth, resigns in an attempt to save Bruce from death at the hands of Bane. Wayne finds comfort in new Wayne Enterprises CEO, Miranda Tate. Using the stolen transactions, Bane expands his operations and kills Daggett. While Kyle agrees to take Batman to Bane, but instead leads him to Bane's trap. Bane reveals that he intends to fulfill Ra's al Ghul's mission to destroy Gotham. Bane fights Batman and defeats him, dealing a crippling blow to his back. Oh, God! We need to talk about that, because that's from the comics. Before taking him abroad to an underground prison. There, the inmates tell Wayne the story of Ra's al Ghul's child, who was born and raised in the prison before finally escaping, the only prisoner to have done so. Bane lures Gotham's police into the underground sewer network and uses explosives to trap them and destroy the bridges surrounding the city. He kills Mayor Anthony Garcia and uses Dr. Pavel to convert the reactor core into a decaying neutron bomb at the football stadium before killing him as well. Bane reads Gordon's speech to the public and releases the prisoners of Blackgate Penitentiary. Ooh, Blackgate's introduced. Nice. Initiating chaos while holding the city hostage and isolated with the bomb. Months later, a recovered Wayne escapes from the prison and returns to Gotham. Batman flees the trap plane. Batman frees the trap police, and they clash with Bane's army in the streets. During the battle, Batman overpowers Bane. Tate intervenes and stabs Batman, revealing herself to be Talia al Ghul, Ra's al Ghul's daughter. She activates the bomb's detonator, but Gordon flocks her signal. Talia leaves to find the bomb while Bane prepares to kill Batman. But Kyle arrives and kills Bane. Batman and Kyle pursue Talia, hoping to bring the bomb back to the reactor chamber where it can be stabilized. Talia's truck crashes, but she remotely floods and destroys the reactor chamber before dying. With no way to stop the detonation, Batman uses the Batman to haul the Batplane, to haul the bomb far over the bay, where it safely explodes before takeoff. Batman reveals his identity to Gordon. Wow. In the aftermath, Batman is presumed dead and is honored as a hero. With Wayne presumed dead as well, Wayne Manor becomes an orphanage and his remaining estate is left to Alfred. Gordon finds the previously destroyed bat signal to be repaired, while Lucius Fox discovers that Wayne had fixed the previously malfunctioning autopilot on the Batplane. Blake resigns from the police force, and a parcel left to him and Wayne's will leads him to find the Batcave. While visiting Florence, Alfred discovers that Wayne is alive and in a relationship with Selina Kyle.
Wow.
Thus ending the final Batman film of the Nolan films. So, alright, let's talk about this one. Okay, let's talk about the fact that they did get something right from the comics. Bane did break Batman's back in the comics, and it hurt like hell. Oh my god, Jesus Christ. Oh my god.
Jesus.
Yeah. The way he broke his back was so fucking brutal, dude. Oh my god.
You can't explain that. It was brutal.
Yeah, because when he went down, you could hear and and then you could hear Batman screaming. His back was, oh my god, he broke his back so bad. It looked so bad. Oh my god. I love this movie so freaking much. Like, this one had to be the most better one. Don't get me wrong, I love The Dark Knight, and I thought Batman Begins was kind of good, but this one right here, this one introduces us to several things. Catwoman is introduced in this one. Bane is introduced in this one. Blackgate Prison is introduced in this one. And also, this is something else that we never got a chance to understand neither. You remember Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character?
Yeah.
What's his name? John Blake.
John Blake.
Well, do you know who he was supposed to be? And later on, he was supposed to have been Robin.
That's what I see here.
He was supposed to have been Robin. That's the funny shit about this shit, is that this dude, the film reveals his legal name to be Robin John Blake, an homage to Batman's sidekick in the comics, Robin. He was supposed to have been Robin in this movie, but apparently something happened and blah 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 blah. You know this whole situation. But oh my god, I love this movie. the fight scene at the end, the fight scene, the whole battle scene at the end, when it's cops and it's nothing but cops and Bane's army going against each other. It looked like something. It looked like something that you would see in a classic film. And oh my god, it looks so good. Everything looks so good. The conclusion to this film. The conclusion could have been a little bit better. I kind of wish that we could. I kind of wish that he didn't leave as Batman. The other problem I have was that Kate revealing herself to be Talia. I never saw that. I thought that was kind of, I thought that was kind of off, but I never saw it coming. I never saw that shit coming at all.
Nobody saw that. And what's crazy is that Bane was attempting to fulfill Ra's al Ghul's plan, But that part when they said that a child of Ra's al Ghul was born and escaped.
Yeah.
You kind of have to think about it. And then next thing you know, when you see Talia al Ghul revealed, you know what I'm saying? Nobody saw that coming.
So I'm wondering if that is who I think it was Talia the one in the prison? Was Talia the one in that prison that Bruce was in?
Of Ra's al Ghul. And the only child he ever had, we know, is a half-daughter, Talia. They probably mentioned that was who they were talking about, obviously.
I'm guessing so, because in the comics, I don't know if they ever mentioned it in the comics or not. If Bane was, I'm thinking, I don't know. Maybe my mind is kind of off today or something like that. I don't know. I don't even know anymore. Like, because it's been a while since I've read the comics.
Yeah, it's been years.
If they ever mentioned anything about Bane being part of the Al Ghul family,
yeah,
I'm wondering, or maybe it probably is Talia. Maybe you're right, dude. Maybe I'm just off my game today.
It's alright. We have our days.
But anyway, I felt like this one was better. I felt like this one was the better of the three. Okay, so it's taken inspiration from the Nightfall storyline. Yes, that's what was one of them. The Dark Knight Returns, that was one of them. That was one of the comic book series, and No Man's Land. That was the 1999 storyline. So yeah, this takes from 3 different comics. And I know, if I remember correctly, I think it was in either Nightfall or No Man's Land, where Bane breaks Batman's back. Oh. So yeah, I think it was in one of those comics that that Bane was the one that broke his back. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think it was that. Anyway, yeah, I thought Knight's off doing his own thing real quick. But anyway, but yeah, I felt like that Christopher Nolan, this has to be his best one out of the 3. Out of the 3 Batman films that I have seen already, this has to be his best one. Bar none. The Dark Knight Rises was a good film. Christian Bale as Batman did one hell of a good job. Anne Hathaway, I thought she made really, to be honest, it's kind of like a toss-up for me when it comes to Catwoman, because Catwoman, I felt, was done better with Michelle Pfeiffer in the 92 version for Batman Returns. But but when we come to this, I was kind of taken aback about, because I've seen this movie like 1,000 times, and I love this movie. Out of the three, this one has to be one of my favorites out of the three, and I felt like Anne Hathaway did an amazing job as Selena Kyle in this one. But if I were to pick my favorite, it would have to have been Michelle Pfeiffer. But it's kind of like a toss up. It's kind of a toss up, if you will, between Anne Hathaway and Michelle Pfeiffer when it comes to Catwoman for me. But what do you think, man? Like, which one out of the two was your favorite?
I want to say both. Michelle Pfeiffer did a great version of Catwoman. Although hers, I think, to me, it was more. She was more crazier in that, when she became Catwoman.
Yeah.
And this one here, I think this one here, what was it? Anne Hathaway, right?
Yeah, Anne Hathaway.
Her version, I thought was good too. I'm not gonna like every tier.
Yeah.
But they did have their differences, but I gotta say that they both, Anne Hathaway played a good Catwoman, a good Selena Kyle.
Yeah.
Again, but it's a toss up, really.
Yeah, it's a real toss up if you think about it, between both Anne Hathaway's Catwoman and Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. And I thought that both, and as I said in my when me and Knight were talking about Batman Returns about a few days ago, maybe a few weeks ago, I believe. We talked about how good Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman was, how dark and gritty she was. But I think Anne Hathaway kind of got into that arena as well with her version of Catwoman. Her version of Catwoman is kind of more of a grittier Catwoman, of a more darker tone Catwoman than that of and it was more like the comics, actually, if you think about it. When we meet Catwoman, she's a cat burglar, she's a thief. When we first meet her, and then in the comics, she's more that way. She's more that way anyway. You know what I mean? Like, she's more of a thief in the comics. So this kind of got went into that comic realm, and got that character that we all know and love, that Catwoman that we know and love from the comics. But what I think about, how I feel about the '92 one is that Michelle Pfeiffer did a good job as Catwoman in the '92 one. How she was portrayed, how she portrayed the character. But I felt that the one that portrayed the character more from the comics was the Anne Hathaway Catwoman. What do you think about that, man?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, and the reason I do is, like you said, Michelle Pfeiffer played good, and this one, and the character Catwoman, she was supposed to, I guess, maybe be a villain, but then now, in a way, she's more like in the middle.
Yeah, she's more of an anti. She was actually, if I remember correctly, I think she was more of an anti-hero in the comics. She did not care. She did not care for the Joker. She did not care for. All she really cared for was getting the job done. Was getting a job done, and doing what she had to do.
Yeah.
She was more. She became more of an anti-hero to me than of a villain.
Yeah.
She was kind of a villain in the first part of the Detective Comics. When you read those first issues of Detective Comics, she was kind of more of a villain, like that. But it's been a while since I've read the comics, so
yeah, it's been years. So yeah, I mean, this was a great movie out of all three. This one was a good one, and I liked it. I know Grim there liked it as well. So yeah, so we're going to get to the rating here in just a minute.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, all in all, great movie.
Yeah, and the rating I give this one a 10 out of 10 too. I have to say that this one was good. This one was a lot more better than the second one, and a lot more better than the first one. While I love The Dark Knight and I love Batman Begins, I think this one had more of a comic book flavor to it.
Yeah.
Because it got some stuff from the comics. The fact that Catwoman was a thief. The fact that Batman got his back broken horribly, if I might add, by Bane.
Yeah.
And I love what they did. I love what they did in involving this war going on in the city of Gotham. The streets become a riot. It becomes a horrible riot when the military, when the forces of Bane and the cops go against each other. But one thing that we did not talk about was that also in this film as well, he made an appearance in this film. Was let me see if I can remember here. Oh yeah, so Cillian Murphy, of course, who played Jonathan Crane from the first movie, from the first two films, comes back into this one. And Liam Neeson, who plays Ra's al Ghul, comes back in this one as well. But also, there was a scene in which that I believe Scarecrow was going to be killed by Bane's goons, by Bane's army, and stuff like that. And I love the part where Bruce escapes that prison that he gets put in. When we see Bruce Wayne, he is back. He looks like a crippled. He's crippled. From the waist down. He can't do anything. He's trying to get back on his feet again. He's trying to fight. He's trying to fight the good fight and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And at the end of the movie, before this part, when Wayne escapes from that prison, that he's been put in and return and stuff like that, it's like it's one of the greatest scenes ever when he climbs on that rope and he basically is fighting to get out of that hole that Bane put him in. And stuff like that. He fights out. He's trying to fight his way out. I was on the verge of tears watching that scene. I was on the verge of tears watching that scene because I love that scene so bad when he comes out of that hole and you're seeing him. He's fighting to get the fuck out of that damn hole. He's fighting to escape that prison that Bane put him in, and he's trying to get out as hard as possible. And you hear all these people chanting something in the background. You know what I mean? They're chanting. I forget what they're chanting, but they're chanting something in the background. I forgot.
Yeah.
But it was the most greatest fucking scene that I've ever seen in my entire life, and I loved it so much. And then the one of the things that I kind of wish that they could have done was that we did not know who Tate was until she ended up revealing herself to be Talia. I kind of wish that we kind of knew. I kind of wish that we had kind of gotten some sort of hint that Miranda Tate was Talia. But even still, I believe that this movie was good. What did you think of The Dark Knight Rises, dude?
I thought it was good. And of course, what you were saying about, the battle was broken. He felt that was defeated. And what you were saying, that scene where he's trying to get out of where he was. Wow, it was. It just not just inspiring, but it just gives that man's hope that he's going to come out and fight, and he does. And but anyway, all in all, this movie is good. It was a good movie, and we again recommend you check it out, guys, for yourself. You do it for yourself. What do you think about this movie? The final movie, The Dark Knight Trilogy. What do you guys think about it? We gave it a 10 out of 10. This is just our rating, our opinion, but if you feel otherwise, well, hey, watch it yourself. You decide.
Yeah. So yeah, this movie gets us a 10 out of 10. This movie is awesome. This movie is good. I enjoyed it a lot. Excuse me. Ooh, man. Ooh. I don't want to sneeze. Sorry. But yeah, I think that this movie is better out of the other three.
Yeah.
Excuse me, guys. Sorry. I think that this one is better out of the three. This one is the best one out of the three. And I had heard something about either it was this one or The Dark Knight that they were supposed to add the Riddler. I have no idea which one it was. I don't know if it was this one or The Dark Knight that they were supposed to add the Riddler, because I had heard months before The Dark Knight came out. I think it was Dark Knight. They were gonna add. I think they were talking about maybe getting Johnny Depp to play the Riddler.
Wow.
And I was thinking about that. For a second. I'm like, how could Johnny Depp play the Riddler? You know what I mean? And I was like, huh? So yeah, I thought that could have been a good idea too, to add the Riddler into the other movie.
Yeah, to think about it, how far would he go as the Riddler? You definitely played a pirate. He played a Mad Hatter. That was one line. Of course, he played on a lot of films. But imagine if he were the Riddler. What would that? If they brought him on and he played the Riddler. How far do you think he would take it as the Riddler? You know what I'm saying? Think about that.
Yeah, and also, I'm glad you mentioned pirates, because I'm going to be doing all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies really soon. Including the one that came out about a year or two ago.
Okay.
I had already did a review for it, but I never did a spoiler review. So we'll talk about that one and stuff like that later on. But as far as everything else goes, I love The Dark Knight Rises. Pick up the Blu-ray. Pick up the 4-disc Blu-ray at Walmart or wherever DVDs are sold and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's it for Dark Knight Week. We had a lot of fun talking about these movies. I cannot wait to give you guys my thoughts on all the other ones coming up in February of next year.
Stay tuned for that.
So yeah, stay tuned for that. But for now, that is it. Live here from Gotham, I am Mr. Grimreaper 512 with Dark Knight 987, and we'll see you all in the afterlife. Peace.